to episode 28 of Last Man Standing Circus Survivor Pool Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Ryan Hogue, the last man standing in the 2003 NFL Draft, here with my buddy who is live from Vegas. Tony, what are you doing?
I'm at MGM right now. There's a little basketball tournament going on. Just watched an overtime thriller with San Diego State getting the upset over Houston, and we got Alabama, Oregon next. These two teams only have one loss between them, so it should be a fun game.
And only Tony would have the balls to bet the under in a team that stars Mark Sears for Alabama. I am incredibly interested to see if that holds up. I don't like that bet, but we're not here to talk about college basketball. We're here because the picks were just announced. But before we get to those picks, Tony, we had a few games the last couple of days. A little craziness and a lot of chalk somehow, some way. Did you make it through? Obviously you did. And how are you feeling right now?
Yeah, so to update people at home, my buddy's entry, a very close friend of mine, we're partnered on an entry, and we made it through with the Chiefs, Ryan. My question for you, who got luckier this Circus Survivor Thanksgiving? People who were on the Chiefs or people who were on the Lions? Who was luckier?
Oh, definitely the Chiefs. I mean, the Chiefs had no business. Now, there's no guarantee the Raiders are going to make that field goal. I mean, he missed three. He's one of the best in the league, but he missed three over 50. And had that penalty been accepted, it would have been another 50-yard field goal. So who knows? However, I mean, the Raiders looked like the better team. They deserved to win, whereas the Bears, decided to start playing at different points in the game, especially the second half. And I would argue that Lions looked like the better team to me. But, yeah, both were incredible finishes. I guarantee somebody nearly had a panic attack, and heart races were definitely elevated. But you know what? Survive in advance, and here we are. The Survivor picks, really interesting. A ton of different teams picked. I have an issue with a few of them.
Nine
different picks. And I love that somebody took my advice and took the Los Angeles Rams over the New Orleans Saints. One person, one brave soul. If you're on live with us, please let us know that's you. But I love that somebody did that. Washington, Tampa, Buffalo, Denver were kind of the big ones, all double digits. And then little nibbles at Minnesota, Cincinnati, Indy, Rams, and Houston. Tony, who are you most surprised about?
You knew there were going to be some stragglers, right? Like I was expecting maybe there'd be one or two on the Colts. That was not surprising. I was expecting to see a couple on the Bengals. That wasn't surprising. I think I am surprised at that number 9, though, that it's so spread out. But you and I talked about this on a previous show that you want to be on an island at this point. It's so important because if the 4 big boys go down, it's chopping time. If you can be lucky enough to negotiate a chop. I mean, this thing could be over tomorrow, Ryan. We got games Monday night, but you get my point. This week it could be over. So, yeah, people are using game theory right now, playing smart, risky, but smart. It's going to be fascinating to see how it all plays out. And how do you like this move, Ryan? So much in Circus Survivor, you want to be secretive, right? You don't want people to know which way you're going, which way you're zigging and zagging. There was an entry, and I love this strategy. He came out, House is his name. He came out on Twitter today and said, I'm on the Vikings. It's in your best interest not to take the Vikings. He wanted people to know he was on the Vikings so that people would be scared off and realize they're not going to be on an island. So we've seen that strategy before in Circus Survivor where people just announce it so that they don't have someone join them on their island. And I think we're going to see a little more of that going forward. Absolutely fascinating strategy.
Gamemanship. And Tony, I feel like I'm on a roller coaster watching you move side to side with your camera.
I'll try to stay still. My bad.
So holy buckets. I don't know if you, took some Ritalin before this, but so the one I'm wondering about Washington, they're a Hail Mary away from being an under 500 team, and they've lost a couple in a row. They play a tough defense, maybe the best defense in the league in Tennessee, or at least the most underrated defense, especially defensive line. We've seen that when Washington doesn't dominate the line of scrimmage, they really struggle. We talked about that in our podcast earlier this week. I'm really interested and curious that 13 people really believe maybe they're fading the Titans, although the Titans really don't seem like a team to be faded at this point because they're still playing hard.
Yeah, these teams are kind of headed in opposite directions, you could make the argument. Washington's on a bit of a losing streak here. Titans have only won one game in a row, if you will, but they could be on a 3-game winning streak. Like, they played good the last couple games. They played hard, a lot closer than the scores have indicated. So it's going to be really, really interesting. I think this is the thing, though, Ryan. Everybody's going to be sweating on Sunday. I know that goes without saying, and it sounds like a common sense, but nothing felt good this week. I've said it 5 times this week. Even if you have every team available, nothing feels great. The safest option, according to odds makers at least, was Buffalo over San Francisco. And there's a bunch of injury question marks, weather concerns. I mean, there's a lot to process in that game. Josh Allen just got engaged. Is that going to affect his headspace for this game? It's going to be fascinating. But speaking of that game, Ryan, I got to ask you as a former player, we're expecting cold temperatures. Several 49er players, most notably Brock Purdy, is expected to play at less than 100%. I know that when it's cold out and I accidentally stub my toe or bump my elbow against something when it's cold out, it hurts a little bit more. So do you think that the cold weather could impact some of these guys who are not playing 100% and make them a little less comfortable on game day?
Well, just for, so our listeners can understand what kind of athlete we're dealing with Tony. He threw out his back one time getting out of a chair.
No. I was lifting a television, to be clear.
Getting out of a chair, and the dude called me
true.
like
That's
he had
not
just
true.
died. So we're take Tony's statements with a grain of salt when it comes to dealing with injuries. But so I will say soft tissue injuries take a lot longer to warm up and to keep warm, obviously, when you're dealing with cold weather. It is interesting when it comes to when you see soccer players go into the game, for example, they usually warm up for about 10 minutes. When you see an NFL guy go in, they're not sitting there warming up, right? Your guy gets hurt, you run straight in and you're expected to be warm. And so when it's colder, it's a lot harder to get up to full speed. So that certainly, if you're dealing with a hamstring or a quad or something, some sort of soft tissue thing, it certainly can come into play. But I would say, the injuries that the 49ers in particular are dealing with, from what I've seen, aren't necessarily going to be impacted by the weather.
Gotcha. We got some comments. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I can't see the comments. So.
Well, yeah, here's the thing. I'm on my phone for the first time. You guys know I usually do this show from my laptop. And I see oh, there we go. Now I know how to put them on here. Bob Renfro says, will they move the game a day due to the amount of snowfall, possibly 5 feet or more? So, Ryan, this is fascinating. If you're on Buffalo, you need this game to be played by Tuesday night. Specifically, you need it to be finished. Doesn't matter when it starts. Finished by Wednesday morning. I believe Circa's deadline is 1 a.m. So you're sweating a little bit right now if you're on the Bills saying, I need this game to be played Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday. Later in the week's not okay. I haven't heard any indication that it's going to get pushed or anything like that. But with this amount of snow, you have to at least have that in the back of your mind as a concern.
Yeah. So those 11 people, which I would say 11, and I'm guessing Bob ended up going with Buffalo, but I wouldn't feel great about that game. Again, San Francisco seems like every time their back's against the wall, they show up. And this could be one of those times when, you count them out and they win. I'll be at the Minnesota game, so I'll be there for the 2 points, for the 2 people that are on Minnesota versus Arizona. The one thing I'm concerned about is Kyler Murray, his ability to evade a pass rush. And kind of, when Minnesota gets out of sorts, that's when you can get big plays. I'm shocked that 2 people picked Cincinnati. I know, Tony, that was one of your kind of sneaky picks. I don't like it at all. I like Pittsburgh. It's going to be a close game. It's a division rival. I think both teams are desperate. Pittsburgh's trying to stay in the lead of the division. Cincinnati's trying to get into that last wild card spot with Denver. So that's going to be fascinating to me. Tampa, Carolina. Tampa could go and win by 20, or Carolina could do what they always do and play them tough. So that's going to be really interesting. To your point, though, none of the games, except for week 1, I don't know that people out there would feel comfortable or as uncomfortable as they do now.
Yeah. Ryan, of those 4 big numbers, the double-digit numbers. Who's in the most precarious situation? Who do you think is the most likely to fall of those big four?
I feel best about Tampa and Denver. I do not feel great about Washington and Buffalo. I think, I think San Francisco is better than Tennessee. So I think San Francisco has the best chance to win. And again, that weather is the ultimate neutralizer. It could bring it to a 6-3 game, or not even maybe field goals aren't even a thing. And maybe it's just all running game. And I like the running game for San Francisco, even though Trent Williams is out. I like the running game for San Francisco better than I do Buffalo.
Yeah, that's a good call. Matt Milano is going to be back for the Bills. There was some thoughts that Dre Greenlaw might return for the 49ers because he practiced a little bit. But I thought, 1 week is too quick for a guy coming off that injury. But I was like, maybe because the Niners are so desperate, they will have to rush him. And they decided to sit him for this game. So Bills get Milano back. 49ers don't get Greenlaw back. There is a guy who, when the inactives come out in that 49er Bill game, I'm really curious to see if he plays. And that's Renardo Green, rookie cornerback for the 49ers, because Lenoir is going to be out. Charvarius Ward is going to be playing in his first game since the death of his daughter. Tragedy. Who knows what his headspace is going to be like in that game. So now you got to start worrying about the cornerback depth for the Niners. And Green, their rookie cornerback who's played well this season, is questionable. So I'm really curious to see if he's going to end up playing in this game. But Bills are going to be without Kincaid. Keon Coleman is going to play. They're saying he may be on a pitch count. So both teams are banged up, but the Niners definitely have the brunt of the injuries in this one. It's going to be a fascinating game to watch. And Ryan, 22 people are either on the Sunday night game or the Monday night game. So they're putting themselves in good hedge, potential. Like, if there's carnage during the day on Sunday, they're going to know exactly how much they want to spend on hedge bets Sunday night and Monday night with all the carnage in front of them. So it creates some clarity for folks in that situation. I don't think it's a reason to take a game Sunday night at this point or Monday night, but it's a nice little cherry on top bonus for sure.
And they can always hit you up if they need you to make a bet for them, right?
No, I will not be making bets for anybody, even though I'm in Las Vegas right now. We got a comment here from Alexander. Lost one with Commanders. Don't trust them. I'm trusting Baker tomorrow. Alexander, can you qualify for us and let us know if you are in Circa Survivor or Survivor pool?
Alexander, he's in Circa. Yeah.
Nice. Congratulations. Yeah. By the way, I haven't gone on Survivor Atlas because I'm obviously multitasking here at this basketball game, Ryan. But I did hear on the VSiN broadcast that NFL Wise Guys, who has 2 entries left, he went both on Tampa. And the other 3 people who had 2 split. And I don't know what they split on because I'm going to go to Survivor Atlas as soon as I get off of this broadcast. So I'm excited to see what those people with multiple entries ended up splitting on. Maybe that's when you take a chance, Ryan, and take like a Bengals or someone like that. I know you don't like the Bengals, but Colts, try to get on an island, Vikings, when you got 2 entries, that could be a game-winning strategy. We'll see how it plays out tomorrow. I can't wait, man.
All right. Well, I'm Ryan. He's Tony. Hey, good luck to everybody. We hope you move on. Look forward to seeing you all this week, hopefully with a special guest. I'm hoping to get another fun special surprise guest for Tony and you all. Until then, good luck, Tony, and good luck, everyone.
Take care, guys.